Zachary, how are you?
I'm very well, Greg. How you doing?
Doing well, doing well. Good to see you.
Yeah, you too. You too.
Got to tell you this, as I've mentioned, everybody, this is one of the most moving films I've seen in a long, long time.
Bless your heart, man. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, I just kind of when I was watching it, it just really gets into you because you get to see, I guess you could say, the soul of a man, woman, and family
Yeah.
who really could have all just said,
Yeah. Yeah.
hell with it.
Yeah. 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 I think that's really, we all kind of know, by and large, most of us know the bullet points of the football part of the story, which is still incredible and so worth the parts of the movie that it's in. But it's 25% football, this movie. It's 75% faith and family and relationship and, what it means to build a relationship, not just the love between Kurt and Brenda, but with the kids and how that all galvanizes it and the things that then they go through, the ups and the downs, the trials and tribulations. And, those overall struggles, scraping change together to fill up your gas tank, like those types of things that I think so many of us can relate to. I certainly can. Working a crap job just so you can make ends meet, so you can finally do the thing that you feel like God's called you to do, or whatever your dream is. Those are very relatable themes. And that's what the movie is. That's really what the movie is. The fact that he also happens to be a real person that really did this, that also won a Super Bowl in this crazy way, is just the icing on that cake.
Yep. And as I even told him, that was truly one of my favorite Super Bowls. And that ending, I'll never forget. I mean, it was just.
Yeah, man. A lot of Titans fans are still very upset about that.
I can imagine. I can imagine. Also, again, very good job that, you did.
Oh, thank you.
Portraying him. And the funny part is there's a friend of mine, she also did the junket today. She's in her 20s. So she, doesn't remember the stuff.
Sure.
But she saw you. Then she saw the real Kurt Warner and she asked me, Greg, are they related?
I don't. Perfect. Great.
Yes.
Perfect. That's what we want.
Because it was like, yeah, they couldn't have picked a better person, to do this. So,
I it's weird. People have asked me, like, did you ever think of yourself as playing Kurt Warner before? I was like, I don't know. I never sat around thinking, do I look like Kurt Warner? I don't know. I never did. And then all of a sudden I got cast as him and people kept saying, oh, wow, that's really good. And I was like, oh, I guess, I don't know, but I'll take it. I will. It's what is the stubble? That's what it is. Okay. We both have some decent stubble that kind of, it hides us behind it.
And a nice jawbone, like that.
I try. It's all just genetics. I don't know.
But again, excellent job. Enjoyed. And thank goodness it's coming on Christmas Day. I don't think there could be a better Christmas present to give anyone.
I agree. I am so stoked that Lionsgate is giving us a Christmas release. Me and my family, traditionally, we always go to a movie on Christmas Day. And I know a lot of other people too. Yeah. So I hope everybody does. I hope they all enjoy it. I hope they all walk away inspired by it. There's a little bit of faith, a lot of family, and some football, and it's all kind of perfect for a Christmas release. So very happy.
That it is. You got everything right there.
Exactly. Yeah.
Zachary, thank you so much for your time. Really enjoyed, and have a great holiday with you and your family.
Bless you, man. You too. Happy holidays.
Doing great.
How are you both?
Doing great. Thank you.
Good to see you. And also, just to start out, Kurt, your Super Bowl truly was one of my all-time favorite ones ever. I was cheering for the Rams, and that ending was just. So there, it took me 20 years, but I'm finally able to say that.
Well, I'm glad we had this moment.
There you go. And also, speaking of moments, I mean, this movie is very, very moving. Like I talked to or said to both of the directors, I mean, honest to God, you feel yourself swelling, just watching it, just seeing the things, because we had all heard the stories, of course, about, from supermarket to Super Bowl, arena ball, to the championship. I don't think anybody could have ever imagined, the real struggles and things we're going through. Talk a little bit about what was it like for you to see that in the film, Kurt?
I tell you what, Greg, where it really hit me the most was when my kids watched it, because, the kids have obviously been on our journey, a different journey than obviously we were on, but been on this journey with us, and they've heard everybody talk, oh yeah, your dad, this, blah, blah, blah. And your mom, Brenda would speak and she have this, the speech put together of kind of her story, and they could quote the speech like, oh yeah, have you ever got to go and do all this stuff? And so they'd been around it and they'd heard it, but watching them or talking to them after the movie to see how it really hit them and to see them see us differently after this movie, really told me everything I needed to see, is that if my kids who know every part of it, right, Greg, you thought you knew the story, they know every part of the story. If they could be impacted and emotionally connected to us and see us in a different way after watching this movie, I thought, okay, we got something here. If the toughest critics in our household are always those closest to you, if they were moved by it and appreciated us differently after watching the movie, that is where it really connected with me, going, all right, we might have something here.
There you go. And Brenda, I can only imagine as well for yourself, you're watching this, and I know you remember, of course, the stories and different things. Because the one that really sticks out is when the car breaks down and, he's got to go back and get the gas. But the thing is, even through all the adversity, you two stayed together, had the love, had the spirituality and different things that kept you together. And that's also what makes this a beautiful story.
Well, thank you. I'm glad that you picked up on that, because I think people will relate to that. I've never held a trophy in my entire life, and I'm 54 years old, and I probably never will. But I also have a testimony of a life that I think people can relate to. Being a single mom at one point in my life, being a former Marine, and learning about what that stood for. And I think raising a child with disability, people are going to be able to relate to our story. And I hope that draws them in for them to be impacted by it, because they can relate, and they hopefully have said, yep, I've been through that. Or they, like Kurt said, they might be in the future thinking back, okay, I remember they got through it, they stuck together, we're all in, and I think our story shows that no matter what happened, we're doing this together. And I hope that people get that.
You got it. Thank you both very, very much for your time. Appreciate it. Like I said, really enjoyed the story. And also, Kurt, the directors and I were talking about the sequel. Kurt comes out of retirement to play for the Detroit Lions, to take us to the promised land, or at least the first round of the playoff.
I've done some impossible things by sports standards in the past. I'm not sure that's even possible, Greg. Now I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding to all the Detroit Lion fans out there. I hope they have their moment soon. Hey, Greg.
John, Andrew, how are you both?
Good to see you, man.
Thanks for having us.
Oh, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. I got to tell you both, and just to even start out, I watched this movie. I really enjoyed it. And to be quite honest, I have not been moved like that, seeing a movie for a long time.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. That means a lot.
Oh,
Yeah.
it goes back to how much we were moved by the story. I remember when we sat down, went to Kurt and Brenda's house, and we interviewed them for hours. We brought some cameras because we were documentary filmmakers before feature filmmakers, and we felt that same thing. We were so moved, and the story instantly becomes so personal, and you instantly think about your own life and your own dreams and your own ambition and your own relationships, and how beautiful all those things are. And we just really, out of that friendship with Kurt and Brenda, wanted to sort of bottle that magic that is just their story. I mean, that's where this all comes from. It is such a moving story. Yeah. But it's one of those things where I'm so glad the movie is coming out when it is, Christmas Day, and families can see it together everywhere, and hopefully come out of the movie re-inspired and believing in the possibilities of life and their own dreams, and the beauty of just enduring together and holding closely to each other, loving each other, and that that your breakthrough moment can be just around the corner if you just keep going. And that was the whole goal of the film.
Oh, and it definitely got it, because even like Andrew, is funny. A lot of us remember when Kurt was playing in the NFL, playing for the Rams. You heard the story about, working in the supermarket, doing this. In your mind, it's like you just see him working at the supermarket, no big deal and nothing going on. But you see the story and you really get to see, just how rough it was for him. I mean, one scene that really got me was when the car broke down and he had to walk the miles back in the snow. To get it.
Yep, I think you're right. I think the thing that's really interesting is a lot of times we see people that have these, breakout moments, and some of those moments become legend, like Kurt Warner's story, that everybody knows that tagline, the supermarket to the Super Bowl, but they don't stop to think about the amount of human struggle that went into it and the parts of the story they don't see below the surface. And so to kind of capture those moments and all the tentpole moments that happen in the film, they happen in real life. And so like that moment with the breakdown of the car and him, having to run to a gas station in the snow to try to save his family from, the cold. there's that moment where he kind of breaks down. And that moment that I think is universally relatable to every man, of just when you get to that place of flailing at the air, don't even know what you're fighting, but saying, I can't do this. And then realizing you've got people around you that believe in you too, and stepping up one more time and saying, we're going to give it one more try, and fighting for those dreams and fighting for those things that matter. So I think to bring that to the screen, this story is going to really surprise people, just the level of hope and the story that they don't know.
No, that's for sure. And then, John, I mean, tremendous cast for both of you guys. And in fact, a friend of mine who she wasn't much into football, but when she saw a picture of the real Kurt Warner, she's going, are he and Zachary brothers?
Yeah. It was so cool to see them together, because Kurt was there almost the entire movie, and we really partnered together to make it. And he and Zach are so similar. They have this similar personality. And I just think it's a role that Zach Levi was born to play. And I remember when we called Kurt and said, "Well, you're being played by a superhero," And then when we got on the phone with Anna Paquin and had our first Zoom, I got off that call and I told Andy, I'm like, I feel like we just spent 30 minutes with Brenda Warner. Like, they're so similar. To bring back Quaid, who was very influential in our career with the movie I Can Only Imagine, and also Shari, one of our producers, they did The Rookie together, and it was just a dream cast and such a wonderful experience. And they really do embody both of these characters in this love story, and it was magical to watch them portray the real Kurt and Brenda.
It was very enjoyable. Gentlemen, thank you so very, very much.
Thank
Tell
you.
everybody I know, check it out Christmas Day, and you can already start working on part 2. Have Kurt come out of retirement and play for the Lions.
He'd do it. There we go. He wanted so badly to be his own. He was like, I can still play. So he wanted to be his own stunt double.
I think if you throw that out on social media, and Kurt will jump at that chance.
Yeah.
He'll get back and
He wants back in the game.
Thanks, man.
All right. I'll bring it up to him. Thanks, guys.
Hi, nice to meet you. How are you?
A pleasure meeting you too. Doing well. I've been telling everybody this was just such a moving picture to watch. I don't think anybody can sit there and say that they weren't, emotionally, driven or moved, whatever, when seeing this, because it gets right down to you. What was it like for you just to even play that part, especially probably even after meeting the real Brenda?
It felt like an extraordinary privilege to get to bring these two amazing people's story to the world. And there's obviously so much about people's family life and private life that, you don't necessarily ever know about, and you just see them when they suddenly become hugely successful. And all those steps and hurdles and just keeping on going and having faith in each other and themselves and holding each other up in such a beautiful way. I mean, it was just, they're such an inspiring couple. It was really just felt like a real privilege.
Mm-hmm. And just with what you said, back in the day, 20 years ago, we all heard about working at the supermarket, the arena football, but it just seemed like, okay, you were doing that Monday, but Friday you were on the NFL championship team. We did not realize the struggles.
You don't see all the little things in between. You don't see the day to day. You don't see how he stepped up to be a dad to her 2 children. You don't see all manner of things that, and honestly, for the most part, she's viewed as the wife of Mrs. Kurt Warner, So I think it's really interesting to tell stories that people actually don't know already. And they think they know the Kurt Warner story, but there's actually this whole other side that I feel like will be a surprise. And bring your own Kleenex.
And you're telling the truth on that. That is for sure. That is the honest to goodness for sure truth. Because, like one scene I keep bringing up to everyone that really stuck out to me was when they ran out of gas in the snow. And I mean, you look at it and you feel that, okay, this is rock bottom, where it's snowing. I've got to walk 3 miles. I only have like 75 cents to get enough gas to come back and save my family. But through their faith and their love and determination, they were able to continue to go, which was fabulous.
Yeah. And that, he obviously took those really huge challenges as a moment to, be more humble and do whatever he needed to do to fulfill the responsibilities he took on. And that's an incredibly admirable trait in any human being.
No, that's for sure. And, something else I told Kurt, that honest to God, the Super Bowl he played in was one of my favorites to watch. I really enjoyed that, especially that ending was fantastic. And I do remember when he ran over, because they had the camera on him, where he kissed Brenda in the stand. So we all saw that. After seeing this movie, that shot just means even so much more.
I mean, yeah, I hope so. I mean, if we've done our jobs right, then, it was, they did this. And he's so clear about that. We did this. And that's such a beautiful thing, to not only achieve such greatness, but also to fully acknowledge that you didn't do it alone.
Right. Nope, that's for sure. And I thank you so much for your time. Again,
Thank you,
really
of
enjoyed
course.
this movie, and take care and talk to you soon.
Thank you so much.